On a night when the ghouls and goblins roam freely, Baltimore can celebrate the master of macabre, Edgar Allan Poe.
Yes, Jeff Hager reports Poe's tormented life, his tales of terror, even his tragic demise, continue to fascinate his fans 167 years after his death.
On this day, the marble monument bearing a bronze image of Edgar Allan Poe is surrounded by dead flowers. Someone's left behind an official-looking body tag, and there's no shortage of curiosity seekers.
The only thing my daughter wanted to do when we came to Baltimore was see the Edgar Allan Poe grave, and we're from Tucson, Arizona, so we came a long way.
A forlorn figure, Poe is known as the master of the macabre, after perfecting the horror story with such works as The Raven, The Pit and the Pendulum, and other tales of terror.
If I come in here on a Saturday to do a tour, I could stand here all day and answer questions.
Luann Marshall has spent the last 39 years here at Baltimore's Westminster Hall and Burying Ground, answering questions about the renowned author's life and his death at the age of 40, back in 1849. Poe was found delirious, lying on Lombard Street outside a tavern in what is now Little Italy, and he died a few days later.
Since he's died, there have been something like 20 reasons given as possible causes: rabies, alcoholism, drug addiction. The official diagnosis is brain fever, because if they didn't know what you died from, that's what you died from.
At the time of his death, Poe also was wearing someone else's clothing, adding to the mystery surrounding his death. Marshall says he had recently become engaged to his teenage sweetheart in Richmond, and there's speculation that he was trying to disguise himself.
His fiance's brothers didn't like him. They thought he was after her money and were following him, so he had on clothing that was not his own, because he was very easily recognized with the black hat and the silver-tipped cane and the intricately tied cravat that, you could pick him out of a crowd.
The other theory is that Poe may have fallen victim to people trying to stuff the ballot box, who offered loads of liquor to locals who would switch clothing with each other to cast multiple votes on Election Day. The captivation with Poe and his death may gather renewed momentum with a special exhibit on loan here at the George Peabody Library in Mount Vernon, which includes an actual lock of Poe's hair.
The hair, of course, was cut at his death, and that was a common Victorian memorial practice to keep pieces of hair, make them into trinkets, or just keep them as souvenirs.
There's also the last known portrait of Poe, taken a few weeks before his death, and even a piece of the casket that he was buried in.
They said when they moved him that there was a little nameplate on there with his initials, and it had been like 40 years, so probably it was falling apart. And people like to save things, especially if somebody's famous, you want a little piece of the action.
It's an attraction which continues to draw students on field trips, thousands of tourists, and even ghost hunters to Baltimore today.
Do you know that's the weirdest thing? No one has ever claimed to conjure up Poe.
But much like his work, Poe's legacy is to take us to that thin line between reality and the unknown, where we continue to tiptoe between the living and the dead, teetering on the edge of terror and left wanting for more.
If he's looking down now, is he happy with the legacy he's left behind?
I think he is, and I think he would be thrilled to death at all the people who come here to pay tribute to him, leave him flowers, just visit his grave.
Edgar Allan Poe has that Baltimore feel to it. It's like taking somebody to Camden Yards or Raven Stadium or anywhere around here. It's awesome. Good piece of history for Baltimore.
I can't think of any author, that people are so mesmerized about like him.
No, unbelievable, huh?
After all these years.
And I tell you what, going there on his birthday and seeing the Poe Visitor, man, this is when the real Poe Visitor used to visit, and you'd get goosebumps, and the guy would turn and he'd just tip his hat and leave. But Life magazine, real quick, published, they had 5 cameras situated all over the cemetery to catch the Poe Visitor. Only one camera worked. Wow. And it was like, ooh, that was back in 1990.
You said he's big in Japan, too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, a lot of visitors.